Looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet Earth.
Imagine being a 57-year-old retired NFL superstar worth millions of dollars, has 2 daughters and a son, works for ESPN, and you throw away your whole reputation because you wanted to go mess around with an OF model that is 30 years younger than you, bro.
Trickling out.
That I've come to know, I don't believe with assault or anybody. And I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know a damn thing beyond that.
Anyone who's been following Shannon's downfall knows he went from being that beloved UNC legend to one of the internet's biggest punchlines, all thanks to a string of messy headline-grabbing lawsuits. But here's what most people don't realize. After settling that recent case with of model Gabrielle Zuniga, Shannon was reportedly left flat broke and drowning in debt. And you better believe Stephen A. Smith sniffed that out instantly. And he didn't hold back one bit. He jumped on air and spent a whole 20 minutes tearing into Shannon for letting himself spiral into this mess. Sure, he tried to sprinkle in some "I got his back" energy, but fans could see straight through it. The man was barely hiding his smirk the entire time. From that clip, it almost felt like Stephen A. was low-key celebrating Shannon going broke and watching his name crash in the industry.
ESPN and Disney have a wait-and-see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about this entire situation involving Shannon Sharpe from a legal and from a civil perspective. What they didn't need as it pertains to those two things that I just mentioned, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff. Once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there, it was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney once associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say I'm not surprised.
But here's the real twist. Just months earlier, Shannon never could have imagined this storm coming, especially after that explosive Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay that blew up YouTube and had the podcast topping charts. Back in April 2025, sports outlets were buzzing. Shannon Sharpe was supposedly locking in a jaw-dropping $100 million deal for his podcast, shattering every record in athlete-run media. With his ESPN checks and other side hustles rolling in, Shannon was basically sitting on the throne of sports media until everything came crashing down. That's when that explosive lawsuit from OF model Gabrielle Zuniga hit like a wrecking ball. But here's the kicker. Stephen A. Smith apparently knew about this case way before it ever went public, so when he threw those slick, shady shots at Shannon on air, he wasn't just being petty for laughs, he was talking from inside knowledge. And looking at the facts, it was clear Shannon's days at ESPN were ticking down fast. But the real shocker? Gabby came out swinging with a $50 million demand. Shannon's reaction? He practically laughed it off, calling it nothing but a money shakedown. He even fired back, saying he'd sue Gabby and her attorney, Tony Busby, for extortion and defamation. Shannon looked bold and unshaken in that clip until the whole story flipped.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. And you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
That's when disturbing leaked audio between Shannon and Gabrielle hit the internet, and it sent the entire situation spiraling into darker, messier territory. The internet completely exploded when those leaked clips hit the timeline, and it's not hard to see why. In the first audio, you can clearly hear Shannon making threats toward Gabrielle that sounded straight up dangerous. Then in the second clip, Gabby's tone shifts. You can hear the fear in her voice, like she truly believes Shannon might hurt her.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public.
Once those recordings started trending, Stephen A. Smith decided he wasn't staying quiet any longer, and he went in. Now, everybody knows Stephen and Shannon have history. Stephen was the one who helped him land that Fox gig, and they'd been tight as both friends and colleagues for years. That's exactly why people assumed Stephen would ride for Shannon, or at least keep things neutral until the courts settled it all. But nope, Stephen shocked the whole internet by going live and saying outright that Shannon might not be as innocent as people wanted to believe.
It's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet.
And he didn't stop there. Stephen called Shannon out for getting caught up in reckless behavior that could destroy anyone's career. Then came the real sting. Stephen bragged that you'd never catch him playing the kind of silly games Shannon's been known for. He didn't drop names, but fans instantly connected the dots. And they knew he was pointing straight at Shannon's string of very public flings with much younger white women. And trust me, that's not even scratching the surface of what was going on. Here's where things really turned up. Fans were floored when reports came out that Shannon had quietly agreed to settle Gabby's lawsuit out of court. This after months of him loudly swearing he'd never give her a dime. The official numbers never saw the light of day, but insiders say the payout may have been dangerously close to that $50 million Gabby originally demanded. The hit to Shannon's pockets was brutal. Not only did he have to cough up tens of millions, but the mountain of legal fees from his high-powered lawyers only made things worse. And then came the twist nobody expected. Gabby popped up announcing she was retiring from RF. After that settlement, she didn't say a single word about the case, nothing about other alleged victims, nothing about a healing journey, nothing about closure. And while she doesn't owe anyone an explanation, a lot of people couldn't help but side-eye the timing, thinking she was simply chasing a huge payday, and got exactly what she came for. Her statement about being truly excited for her next chapter only fueled the chatter. People started asking, did she set Shannon up from the jump? And if not, just how bad was the evidence that Shannon went from threatening to sue her to quietly cutting a massive check? Either way, for Shannon, this was only the start of a downward spiral that seemed impossible to stop. Things went from bad to catastrophic when old skeletons from Shannon's past started creeping out, and they painted a seriously ugly picture of the man behind the cameras. Turns out, Gabrielle Zuniga wasn't the first to hit Shannon with accusations of inappropriate behavior. Years ago, his ex, Michelle Evans, filed a lawsuit with claims reaching back a whole decade. And now, Michelle's back, this time accusing Shannon of defamation and demanding a whopping $16 million. The real kicker? From what's being whispered, she's holding on to receipts that could end him for good, the kind of evidence that might force him to actually cut that check. If that happens, his money troubles will go from bad to absolutely drowning. But here's the wild part. Shannon used to be that guy, the one everybody rooted for. Now fans don't even want to see him on screen. He's gone from a sports media darling to someone a huge chunk of the public now labels as creepy. And the worst part, plenty of people warned him this day would come if he didn't change his ways. Old clips from his Club Shay Shay interviews are now making the rounds again. And fans are roasting him for ignoring all the advice he got. One viral clip in particular has people heated. Comedian Monique sitting across from Shannon, straight up warning him about chasing women young enough to be his daughters, and Shannon brushing it off like it was nothing. Monique looked Shannon right in the eye and warned him, "Keep moving the way you're moving, and it's gonna be your downfall." And wow, was she right. But if you thought that was bad, the other clip making waves right now might be even harsher. It's from the now infamous Cat Williams interview. And while Monique tried to be subtle, Cat came with zero filter. He straight up told Shannon that it didn't matter how famous, wealthy, or liked he was. If he didn't clean up his act, he'd get destroyed like Kang the Conqueror. Fans can't stop replaying that moment, saying it was the biggest told you so in Shannon's career. What's wild is how these old clips are resurfacing right as Shannon's finances are crumbling. And fans are convinced it's all tied directly to the scandals that have piled up over the past few years. One TikTok creator even went viral going off about it.
Called black women gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs. Cat Williams tried to warn him. He said it takes 2 weekends. Monique tried to warn him that him now, at the age of 57, shouldn't be messing with a girl that is, 36 years younger than him? And he didn't listen. And he kept it going. And now he has lost his entire football career, basically because him and that girl had to settle for $23 million. His whole football career, he only made 22. So she got his entire Hall of Fame football career within, plus $1 million, within just a few short months.
While comment sections filled with reminders, Shannon, this could have all been avoided if you'd listened to Kat and Monique. And just when you think the drama's maxed out, here comes the next blow. Shannon getting served with a pink slip from ESPN. His hosting gig on First Take was easily his biggest paycheck. But after news broke that he'd settled for that massive sum, the execs decided it was time to quietly cut ties. No press release, no farewell party, just a silent exit for one of their most high-profile stars. No statements, no messy back and forth, no public sparring, just a cold, clinical email saying, "We have to part ways moving forward." According to insiders, that moment crushed Shannon. This wasn't just another guy losing a job. This was the ultimate signal that Shannon Sharpe's credibility in sports media had been completely wiped out. With his reputation in tatters, the financial picture only got uglier. Word is, his bank accounts are deep in the red, and the embarrassment didn't stop there. His podcast numbers have tanked, sponsors have gone ghost, and his merch line delayed indefinitely. Rumors are swirling that he's even unloading pieces of his real estate portfolio, including that Atlanta property he used to proudly flex on Instagram. Right now, it looks like Shannon is tossing anything at the wall, desperate to see what sticks. Fans have started connecting the dots, and then another blow landed. Stephen A. Smith unfollowed him on Instagram. Just like that, the internet lost it, because now it's crystal clear this isn't just a Shannon problem anymore. Stephen A. reportedly isn't even picking up his calls, and to twist the knife further, Club Shay Shay's YouTube numbers have been sinking ever since that explosive Cat Williams interview. That viral high is gone, and every new guest just gets compared to that peak, leaving Shannon chasing ghosts. One YouTube comment summed it up perfectly. This might be the biggest fumble in sports media history. But here's the real kicker. Shannon finally broke his silence in a nightcap video, and the internet lit up instantly. In the clip, he addressed his ESPN exit, but you could hear it in his voice. the embarrassment, the weight of knowing the whole world is watching his fall from the top. But here's the thing. It wasn't the heartfelt apology fans thought they were going to get. Instead, Shannon's tone came off like he was dodging blame altogether.
Before we get this manner,
Viewers picked up on it quick, flooding the comments with heat. Shannon, bro, take accountability for your own actions. Look in the mirror. Bag got clowned by Stephen A. and is left with no solid next move. And that's the cold truth. Stephen didn't have to bury him.